Hey guys, how's it going? I think may have figured it out. You know what the key to maybe retirement is? And don't tell me it's money, because that's not what I'm thinking about. No, I think the key to retirement is actually your health. So, I haven't retired. You guys all know that. I just do these videos because to me, retirement is D-Day. And I'm looking forward to the day when I actually can say, you know what, I'm hanging it up. But, making that leap to retirement is really scary. And it's a total change in your behavior, because for the first time probably in your life, you'll be going from something like where you're making money to now having to spend money. And I'm just walking around here. These people are probably thinking I'm like looking crazy. Yep, that guy's looking at me like I'm some crazy man. But anyways, I wish I could be doing this in Vietnam or Thailand, but I'm stuck here in Jersey. But one of the things as a side note, I really love about this time of the year is that sound right there with the crickets. It is god-awful humid right now. But I came out here to do a walk because I just recognized something, and this is why I'm making this video. Yesterday I went back to my Jiu Jitsu gym. I hadn't done Jiu Jitsu in over a month, and I am a fanatic about Jiu Jitsu. I love it. And if you haven't done it, I would recommend you do it. It's like one of the best things to do for your body and mind. But I had a problem where I had, I guess, a pinched nerve. I slept wrong or something. But man, oh man, it was painful. I couldn't sleep at night. It was so painful. And so I went to the doctors, orthopedic surgeons, and I got an MRI coming up. Doctors are prescribing me gabapentin and Cymbalta and meloxicam. I mean, the amount of drugs, holy cow. The word cocktail comes up. I bet you my blood has so much toxins in it that even the mosquitoes don't want to eat me, because it's like gross for them. But anyways, it got me to thinking, because I got into the gym yesterday, to the academy, and I was going real slow. And there's this thing in jiu-jitsu, if you don't know, you practice the moves in the class, get the momentum down, the process down, your body kind of getting that muscle memory. And then there's a period, okay, at the end of the class, and this is what everybody loves when they do jiu-jitsu. Okay, now we're gonna go live. Everybody start in this position, okay, whatever it is. And that's the time, and if you're ever like a white belt, oh, you love it, because now we're getting the spar. But I got in there, and one of the guys I was paired with remembered me. I didn't remember him, but really nice guy. And it's called passing the guard. Essentially what you have to do is get past the person's leg. That's what passing the guard is. But man, I was so winded at the end of it, because he was passing my guard. And I kind of let him, but I was trying to do some defensive maneuvers, but I was using a lot more energy than I needed to. But that's how you expire in jiu-jitsu, is that you kind of essentially submit to exhaustion. And that's what happened to me. My body just couldn't keep up. I couldn't breathe. It was just so hard. It's called VO2 max. And as I'm getting older, it goes down and down more. So it just occurred to me. It's like I started to look at my, what I do day in, day out. I'm sitting around on my, because of my job, I sit in front of a computer, and to some people that's like the best occupation in the world, right? It's like not a lot of job hazard. It's comfortable. One of the things I remember loving about when I first, even before COVID, I was remote. I remember it was a massive storm, snowstorm coming down, and it was the morning, and I remember all these schmucks have to start kind of, commuting into New York City on the train. But here I am, I'm in my sweats and a comfortable fleece jacket, and I'm just gonna hang out and do my work from home. And that there set the precedence for remote work. And now everybody's doing it. You have all these digital nomads and everything. But what ends up happening with the digital business is it's all mental work. It's not physical work. And so, you know, I'm sitting there literally 9 hours a day in one place, and the only exercise I got was jiu-jitsu. And it just, you know, the most important thing, this is what I figured out about retirement. The most important thing, regardless of how much money you have or kind of what it is your health. Because let me tell you something, if you're an invalid or, you know, you're bedridden or something like that, do you think any amount of money is going to help you? It's not going to. It may make your life a little bit more comfortable because maybe you can spend money, you know, maybe better drugs or kind of better research and that kind of stuff. But it's not going to make you better. And a lot of times, the only way you're going to get better is via surgery. Like, for example, my neck, I had to think about getting neck surgery. And that's one of the primary reasons I'm thinking, am I going to Southeast Asia? It just seems like going over there is much better than here. So one of the guys I follow on the Vietnam channel, his name is Travis Travels Vietnam. Kid plays rugby, and you know, God bless him, man. That's a man's sport. But this dude, he somehow crashed into somebody, but I think he hit his cheek, and he had to get surgery. And I guess he had to be in the hospital 4 days, and he took an ambulance, and the bill is like $1,200. So, you know, think about that if you would do that here. It's like your health is so important, but it's like an event like that could torpedo you. Forget about your retirement. That will destroy you. An event like that without surgery. I know because I have 2 hips, metal hips. I'm a little bit young to have them, but I had really good insurance at the time. But I know that the first hit was something in the order of $100,000. So, you know, medical care here in the United States is not cheap, and it's actually it's a disgrace if you ask me. You know, we need good medical care, but the fact that it's practically unattainable for the average American, that's unacceptable. And then there's what we ingest in terms of our nutrition and food. And this is the part that really astonishes me a little. So today, for example, everybody probably loves their mother's cooking. I love my mother's cooking. She's a phenomenal cook. And it's not just our ethnic Korean cooking, it's everything. So today, I took my son up to his grandfather's house because he's actually a little bit older, and you know, we want to make sure that he's in good shape. And my mother made just this fantastic lunch, you know, pork chops with kind of like some kind of garlic style pasta and salad. And it was just so delicious, even though it was a slightly heavy, you know, in terms of like those. My mother likes to use a lot of olive oil and a little bit of seasoning. But if you looked at the constituents of the meal, none of it was pre-processed, with the exception of maybe the pasta. But I think she told me that she got some of that Italian pasta that's like gluten-free. And that's a whole different story about flour, which kind of is why I'm bringing this topic up. You know, if you think about all the ingredients that go into our food and all of the bioprocessing and engineering so that you can get higher output, this is why we are dying earlier. And I don't care about any of the arguments that if you look at the average age of an American living up to 90, I don't care about any of that. If you are sedentary and eating that kind of crap, and I'm still a little bit gun shy with the camera. I don't think there's a lot of YouTubers. I don't even see kids doing YouTube. It's funny. But I'm a YouTuber now. It's exciting. It's fun. I love it. Even though nobody watches my videos, I don't care. But I just wanted to say about the food thing. You know, the problem with our food choices is because, first of all, we don't have a lot of time. That's a primary concern, right? We're all out there chasing the mighty dollar. The second thing is the distance to get things. Because by the time you go to a grocery store, pick up the stuff you need, bring it back, you've already probably wasted a good hour and a half. I don't know where anyone lives, but I know, like I'm walking down the street here, the nearest grocery store, there's 2 of them. It's not far, they're like 2 miles away. You know, obviously you have to go through some back roads, but just doing the whole kind of process is just time consuming. You look at other countries, you know, regardless of whether or not they're in a rural or urban area, it just seems like their setup is different, and it's a function of just kind of their environment. You know, in Southeast Asia, there's not a lot of refrigeration, so they have to do everything kind of that day. But it's the basic concept that I've seen even in France. You know, I remember when I was living over there, and I lived there for a number of years with my father's company, the food would be made every day. You would just go to the market, open market, pick up your stuff, and then you make the food that day. And that's a foreign concept here in the United States. You are not making food that day. You're going there, and maybe you make it in bulk, and then you preserve it, and then you get rid of it after, maybe throw it away or try to use it again. The other thing also, though, is that a lot of this food is engineered, it seems like GMOs. That I think is made by there's a big conglomerate, which I think it starts with a D, I can't remember. But they're a very controversial company, because what they did was they would engineer wheat products, or, you know, kind of agricultural products with specially engineered seeds. You know, and seeds, you have no control of it, it's completely random. They would deposit them and curate them and plant them in farmlands in America. And typically these are contracts with certain farmers. But then the farmers that didn't have these contracts with this company, I don't want to say it's DeSanto, I can't remember the name. But what would happen is if they sensed that their seeds somehow migrated over to the farm that didn't have this bioengineered seed, their lawyers would come after the farmer and sue them for some kind of patent infringement. It's the worst, it's the craziest scam ever. You know, this is how they forced farmers to sign on to these bioengineered products, because they would sue them into submission. I mean, it's just a total terrible kind of American thing. But I digress. The natural outcome of that is that our food is crap. And all you have to do this web search online. Look at America 1930s and then America 2025, and maybe put in the keyword people walking on street. Like put that in there and see what it comes back with. The ones that I saw on Instagram are people, this is a totally different